Hello? Huh? Hello? Huh? Hello? Huh? Get your hands on the phone. What it do? It's your boy GANJAWEEN, back with another review. And I'm the killer GANJAWEEN. Hey, look, it's going down. Listen. All right, y'all, we made it. Final Destination. The Final Destination. Came out in 2009. Or like as everybody calls it, Final Destination 4. Why would you call it The Final Destination? Y'all knew y'all wanted to make more. Plus, money doesn't lie. Even though this isn't the best entry of the franchise, it made bank. So, of course, we got another one. So calling it The Final Destination was stupid. But as I've said before with other entries in the franchise, this is the point where we're just cranking them out. So, just like other movies in other franchises, like Friday the 13th. They had the final chapter. We had Saw, the final chapter. We got another one after that. They had Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. We got plenty more Freddy's after that. So it happens in every franchise. And we're going to keep this one very, very simple and sweet because it's not much to talk about with this one. Like I said, it's not the best entry in the franchise. The big thing about this one is it was the first one entry in 3D. It wasn't the best 3D. I think this was... around Avatar-ish. So we were still testing out 3D, early 3D. The effects weren't the best one in this movie at all. Everything looks, the entire movie looks like it was shot like a USA movie. Like you would literally be switching through USA and you would see this play and then you would see Burn Notice after this, or it would immediately go into an episode of Law & Order SVU. This is exactly the feeling of this movie. It's a made-for-TV movie all day. This time we follow a kid named Nick, played by Bobby Campo. Not the strongest protagonist, but then again, not throwaway either. He does fine. Then that's across the board, the acting in this movie. Like I said, very kind of like TV acting. So it's not the best acting in this movie at all. It was one point in this movie when I even stopped and said, oh my God, wow. And I'm not even like that much of a judge when it comes to acting because I can't act myself or anything like that. So it's not really up to me to judge somebody's performance or anything like that to that degree. But if it can stop me in a movie to the point where I'm sitting there looking at the screen like, wow, then that's saying something. And this time my main character, Nick, he's with his friends at a race car event. Kind of like a NASCAR thing, but I think it's more like a stock car kind of race because it's not really like a big league kind of thing or major league kind of thing. And see, that's just the thing. A race car event, it's a huge step down. I was saying that with part 3, how much it was a little bit of a step back with the roller coaster incident. Like I said, at this point, we're just cranking them out. So what we gonna do this time? Race car incident? Yeah, that would be good. You know what I'm saying? Just go shoot that. Why not? Plus, the director from part 2 came back. His name is David R. Ellis. So he jumped back in the director's chair. Him and the other director, James Wong, from part 1 and 3. They keep playing musical chairs with Final Destination franchises. One jumps in, one jumps out. They both leave with part 5, but to see them switch places on parts 1 through 4 is actually kind of nice because you get a different feel for each movie. There are some merits in this movie. David R. Ellis, he is kind of campy and a little bit schlocky, so there's some fun to be had in this movie, even though it's not the greatest. At the race car incident, a few things happened. It's not even that memorable, and I even just watched this movie like 2 or 3 nights ago, and it's still not that memorable. I think this race car flies into the audience. The second floor gives way a little bit and crashes down. Some tires fly into the audience and take off a few heads. There's nothing really memorable about that scene. It's the worst out of the franchise. Like I said, it's not much to even really say about it. Of course, he has the premonition about the whole thing. He convinces his friends to leave. At this point, they're just checking boxes and running through numbers. Like, it's like a paint by numbers book at this point in time with the franchise. Yeah, okay, premonition. Okay, he warns his friends. Okay, they don't believe him. Okay, they're gonna leave and start dying. At this point in time, it's just kind of mundane. The only way you can just even jazz it up a little bit is with the kills, which is the main focus at this point, which you can't be mad at. But at the same time, it's like at this point, it just does feel so cookie cutter. The first death we even have is just like, it's not even memorable. It's some racist dude. And this time, the premonitions, since they're in 3D, it's not really like clues that would be lying around that you could put together. This time they're full-on visions, and they're full-on visions in like computer animated 3D. So you'll get like, he'll get like a vision of a cross and a chain. And then like the first death, like I said, is some racist guy. He wants to go plant a cross and burn it on the black dude's lawn. So like that was part of the vision and whatnot. It's actually really kind of stupid. That death isn't even memorable. The dude catches on fire. Then they play Why Can't We Be Friends, which is ironic. And that's harkening back to earlier stuff in the franchise, because they've done that too. They always play an ironic song over the death, blah, blah, blah. Moving on. Cool death actually that stands out is a character named Samantha. She's at a hair salon with her 2 kids. And while they're in the hair salon, there's all kind of things going on. She's in a seat that's faulty. It keeps bouncing around, and then as she's getting her hair cut, the scissors are by her eye, so like the seat's bouncing around and shit, and you could almost be sheared. There's a fan over top of her that's all faulty, that's about to work its way out of the window. There's a plethora of things going on in the hair salon. It's actually a really fun scene. The death is a little lackluster. When she walks out, a rock flies through her eye or something like that. So it's a lot of great tension and build up in the scene just to end on a lackluster death, which, like I said, part 4. The best absolute 2 scenes on the movie are, we get to a car wash with one of Nick's friends. The best 2 scenes on the movie are Nick's friends. One is actually at a pool, the other is at a car wash. As one guy is at a pool, he's getting laid, he's the dickhead character. And remember, I'm not telling you any of these characters' names or going into much detail because they're not memorable. The whole movie is actually kind of trash. But these 2 scenes do stand out. So this character, he's at a pool. He's getting laid. He's, like I said, he's a dickhead. He has a lucky coin that ends up falling in the pool. When he goes in the pool, the plumbing on the pool actually ends up getting messed up, which ends up making the pool drain super fast. He ends up going into the pool, getting sucked down to the bottom, getting disemboweled by the pool and the drainage system. After the movie, I actually even looked this up to see if this actually was a thing that actually really happened. Turns out it happens all the time. It happens to little kids, everything, which is horrendous. But the death is great because his intestine comes flying out in 3D all over the screen. It's ridiculous. At the same time, he's at a pool, another of Nick's friends, she's at a car wash, and the whole setup for the car wash is insane because there's a plethora of things that are in the car wash that are fucking insane for a Final Destination movie. She ends up in the car wash. Her car ends up getting locked inside the car wash. She is in the car, her mechanics in the car end up going faulty and haywire, which ends up opening a window. Her car ends up getting filled with water, which makes her stick her head up through the sunroof. The car ends up getting pushed down in the car wash. Her head sticking out the sunroof as the big spinny things come in. Her head's inching towards that. It's a fantastic scene. And like I said, those are really 2 only stands out scenes in the movie. After that, there's a little bit of things where they're trying to figure out everything's going on, the plane jumping around, things you've seen before in the franchise. Another character is taken out by an ambulance. They spoiled that death on the trailer too. I was really upset about that because that could have been another death like Terry off of part 1 with the bus. That was actually really good. The finale is actually really good though. When watching it the other night, it actually hit me how fun that finale actually really is, because the whole setup is they have to go to a 3D movie. And I just love that whole setup of, in a movie, when characters are at a movie, and then especially since this movie was in 3D, then they go see a 3D movie, and then like while they're at the movie, there's an explosion behind the screen which sends things through the screen to them not realizing it's a real explosion. They all start dying in the theater, and it turns out the whole finale is even a premonition to Nick. So then Nick has to go run to the theater to save his girlfriend and everything like that. There's even a fantastic part where a girl, one of my worst fears my entire life has been escalators. There's a scene where his girlfriend is on the escalator. Her new shoe goes into the shoestring on her new shoe goes into the escalator. She ends up getting pulled in. They show the whole thing where she's pulled in, her guts and body parts, everything go flying. It's ridiculous. And he ends up saving them through the premonition. It's really kind of, like I said, it's fun, but like just by this point, you know, when you like, you're not feeling the movie altogether, you just kind of check out. By this point, you just kind of check out of the movie. So it's like I said, it's fun, but it's lackluster at this point, which is not terrible. But at the end of the day, when you're with the franchise and you expecting more from it, it does start to be a little bit disappointing. Luckily, with part 5, we come back strong. And I will say, this is the only full entrance without Tony Todd. Tony Todd is not making a single appearance. He doesn't even make a voice appearance or anything on this movie, which is a little sad. But like I said, part 5 is a movie that comes in and kind of redeems the franchise. So, and then that's Final Destination 4. I appreciate y'all, as always, for joining me for Ganjaween. Tune back in. I'm going to try to do Final Destination 5 pretty soon. I have done Final Destination 1 through 4 already. Go back and check those videos if you have not seen them. I appreciate the support. Like and subscribe if you can. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks. Peace.